Hi there, I'm Amy Shojai, and I'm an animal behavior consultant. I am not a veterinarian, but I do a lot of veterinary writing. And I thought during this time, when it's a little bit more difficult to get our pets into the veterinarian to get help, I thought I'd share some of my more popular blogs. I may actually get a few tips from my own furry helpers here. This is Karma, and so I'm going to put him to the side so that I can actually share with you one of my most popular blogs. Here you go, buddy. Puppy diarrhea, home remedies, and when you should call the veterinarian. How you've got a new puppy and they have this sweet puppy breath and Frito smelling puppy toes and snuggles, and you're having such a good time, and then oh no, diarrhea. I know, it's scary, it's obnoxious, and what's a pet parent to do when a dog has a diarrhea problem? Now, of course, adult dogs can also have an occasional loose stool. And at any age, a dog diarrhea is a serious issue. It's something that needs immediate attention. This is not about puppy accidents and house training. This is about an illness that your dog, your puppy, cannot control. Knowing some home remedies and some first aid are going to give you some tools you need when you can't get into the veterinarian right away, particularly if it's over a weekend, the emergency clinics are closed, and sometimes this actually will help save your puppy's life. Now, puppy diarrhea ranks probably right up at the top as one of the most common puppy problems, and being familiar with dog diarrhea treatment is very important. If you have a dog, you're going to deal with this at some point in your dog's life. Mild cases, though, can generally be treated at home and they get better. But when diarrhea can be a symptom or a sign of a very dangerous illness, and especially it can be especially dangerous for puppies. I'm not a veterinarian. This is to give you tips what you can do until you get veterinary help. Okay, so when you have a dog, poop happens, and knowing what to do is key. And it's vital to recognize some of the differences between what's an aggravation and what's an emergency, and what to do with both. So diarrhea, first of all, is not a disease. It's a sign of illness, and it can be caused by many different kinds of conditions. Diarrhea can be associated with viruses such as parvovirus or distemper. It can also be caused by intestinal parasites like whipworms or hookworms. Protozoans such as Giardia and bacterium like Salmonella and E. coli. Now, some kinds of intestinal parasites can be very difficult for a veterinary test to detect. So it can take tests over several weeks to obtain a diagnosis. So I cannot diagnose your puppy or your dog's diarrhea. You cannot do it at home. Your veterinarian needs to figure out the causes there. Now, puppies also are notorious for developing diarrhea from a sudden change of diet. And that's really common because if you adopt your puppy, he's used to one kind of food, maybe at the shelter, the rescue, or at the breeder's house, and then he comes home and everything's different. Even the change in water is a possibility to cause a little bit of digestive upset. So puppies can develop diarrhea from swallowing something that they shouldn't, just swallowed foreign object, for example, eating pieces off of toys. The stress, just the plain stress of coming into a new home can cause loose stools or even vomiting. Overfeeding or eating out of the garbage. That's my dog likes to do that. That can cause tummy upsets, and that's a matter of just controlling your environment. But without knowing the cause, the right treatment is really hard to suggest. Now, here are the major kinds of puppy diarrhea and when you should see an expert. Go see your veterinarian or your emergency room pet care experts. Now, diarrhea can point to conditions that could kill your puppy, so don't wait. The resulting dehydration that happens with diarrhea could make the puppy even sicker. Now, a couple of years ago, my previous dog, Magic, suffered from a bout of explosive diarrhea. Now, I had been called for jury duty. Yeah, so I was gone. And I discovered his illness when I returned home after the first day of service. Yikes. Nothing like wall-to-wall explosive diarrhea. Luckily, in the kitchen where it was a little bit easier to get cleaned up. But Magic had been drinking from the water-filled tank. That's kind of a man-made pond here in Texas. And we suspected that the runoff from recent rains had caused some parasites to be in the water that he ingested and caused this diarrhea. So it required a couple of weeks of medication for him to feel better. Had he been a baby, the situation could have been life-threatening. Now, you see the veterinarian if it's your puppy has diarrhea, and here's what it will look like. These are the kinds of diarrhea that the vet has to see, okay? If it looks black and has a tar-like consistency, that could indicate blood. If it smells really, really bad, smells foul, if it contains a large amount of red blood, if diarrhea is also accompanied by vomiting, by severe pain, fever, appetite loss, or lethargy. So, how do you going to treat your dog and puppy diarrhea at home? If it's none of those things, can you treat it at home? Well, it's always best, to get your veterinarian to check it out first. But your vet may actually recommend some home treatments for milder forms of diarrhea. For instance, if it's been less than 3 days and the dog or the puppy still feels and acts pretty well, he's still eating, and the diarrhea has more of a pudding-like appearance. Gosh, this is really, this really makes you feel like breakfast, doesn't it? Okay, but if it has a pudding-like appearance, then home care may be able to help. You just need to make sure that water is always available. It's very easy for puppies to quickly become dehydrated, and a sudden watery diarrhea can spill dangerous amounts of large amounts of fluid and important minerals out of the body. So it often takes a couple of days for your puppy's tummy to calm down, and a bland diet can help. Now, when you are able to treat diarrhea for your puppy at home and it's a mild case, generally the recommendation is to withhold all food for 24 hours. Now, with really tiny puppies, that's hard to do, but as long as they're not also vomiting, you can offer them a little bit of water. And after the 24 hours, this gives their tummy a chance to kind of calm down. And after that, offer a bland food, something like cottage cheese mixed with a little bit of cooked rice. And instead of feeding all at one meal, spread this out over about 6 meals throughout the day. Okay, and that gives the tummy a little bit of chance to get back into the swing of things. You'll find more advice again on the blog at amyshojai.com, and please subscribe here for more treats and tips about your dogs, your special cats, and I hope they all stay well and safe.
A-doodle-doodle-da-da. A-doodle-doodle-da-da.